Yeah, so it's just another peaceful day in the marina. Unfortunately, this is IndyCar race week. It's the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. And that goddamn helicopter has been hovering above us for almost an hour. Some people dig it, but I don't imagine they give much thought to the people whose days that they're really interrupting. I can't stand it. It's bad enough having to listen to the cars making all their noise. That helicopter is the worst of all. Oh well. It's just a one-day thing. No, wait, tomorrow as well, I think. And then it'll be done with. Well, hey there. Welcome to this episode, and thank you in advance for watching. I do appreciate it, and I really do. I cherish the comments that I get. I feel like I've made a pretty big army of friends out there, and I do appreciate that a lot. Well, I've been up north in the U.S. Visiting family the last couple of weeks, and I'm back in Florida now. It's obvious now that I've been marking time, not doing much of anything, and certainly not sailing since December 4th. So marking time that long, over 4 months, is just too long. And I think we're there. Okay, we're at a decision point now. I completed my COVID vaccination 2 days ago, and my arm is still sore, but I feel great, so I know no after effects for that. But this week I've learned that even though I have the vaccination, the UK is still going to force me to do the quarantine. And if it had been, a quarantine, like a self-isolation on my boat for 10 days or 14 days, that'd be fine. That's what I did last August, and it was no problem, because that's how I live anyway when I'm in the UK. But that's not what the UK is doing. So England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, they're all forcing a mandatory 10-day quarantine, but not in your home. It's in a what they call mandatory quarantine facility, or words to that effect. Basically, it's a hotel that the government picks out, and they force you to stay in this hotel. You'd be like a gerbil in a cage, getting your food delivered to you, that sort of thing every day. And they charge us a lot of money. It's well over £2,000 sterling for that, and they force you to pay for 2 additional COVID tests, and so the total price for me would be well over $3,000 US for a shitty little hotel room that I have to stick in for 2 weeks. And to make matters worse, my girlfriend is from a country that is currently on the red list from the UK's perspective, and she's banned from traveling to the UK. And if she were to be able to travel to the UK, then we'd have to do another quarantine for her. Again, another $3,000 plus. And it gets worse. By the time my girlfriend gets her vaccination complete in her country, or by the time the UK removes her from the red list countries, her visa to the UK will have expired. So I think we're done. So realizing that it could be easily 3 or 4 months before we could both be in the UK together, and realizing that there's no assurance at all at this point that we can even enter the European continent. Right now, I've heard buzz online that France is considering allowing Americans to enter again, but that's just talk, and it's not a done deal yet. So we're there. So I made a decision to sell the boat. The boat in Scotland is for sale. It's with a broker now, and he's doing his best to find the right buyer for it. A steel pilot houseboat is not all that popular in any place except the UK and Holland and the Pacific Northwest of the US. Not too many other places would be a good market for this boat. So it makes sense now, considering we can't continue on our plan anyway, sell that boat and get a different boat. And that's what I'm going to do. I know that some folks are going to disagree, and I appreciate your opinions, and I could lapse into a very long decision analysis of why I do what I do, but I think, well, put it this way, I was recently reminded of of a quote that was attributed to Confucius. We all have two lives. The second one begins when we realize that we only have one life. And that is true for me. For me, it was most definitely in either 2015 or 2018. 2015 was a rough year. Had a lot of deaths in the family, and I got divorced at the same time. And, so you have kicks in the balls and kick in the gut and a kick in the ass. It seemed like it happened a lot that year. And in 2018, I was involved with a life-saving event in the Philippines when I was vacationing. And I thought that I was going to die. And in fact, at that time, I made a decision that I would die rather than let this person drown. So anyway, with that perspective, let's face forward. Okay, I'm going to get a new boat. I'm in Florida right now. It's not technically South Florida. This is St. Petersburg. But between the Texas Gulf Coast and the Atlantic coast of Florida, there are probably 10,000 boats for sale at any given moment. And frankly, considering the perspective from Confucius, let's not get bogged down on looking for a perfect boat. Any of these boats in this marina would work. Any sailboat, that is. It doesn't really matter if it was a cord construction production boat like a Beneteau or a Hunter. I don't like those boats. I really don't want to have one of those boats, but they would do the job. Many people are cruising the world right now on boats just like that. So I'm not going to get too hung up on what boat I get. I do have my lessons learned. Was a video we did back in episode 20. We discussed lessons learned. Excuse me. And one of them was I definitely don't want to get a project boat. So I need to find a boat that is ready to go to sea today. There are a couple in this marina that are for sale, and they are ready this moment to go to sea. They're not exactly the way I like them. I would probably want to make changes, but they would do the job. And so old Russ here is not going to get too hung up on looking for the perfect vessel. I am definitely not going to find a steel pilot house motor sailor. That ain't going to happen. But if I want a cockpit, open cockpit, fiberglass sailboat, well, I can do some business here in this state. Tons of them. So all I need to do is have a boat that's ready to go to sea directly. I spent too long in Scotland just plugging away on work on the boat, and I should have gotten that boat the hell out of the UK back in October. I should have done what was necessary to hit the water, put it in the water, and then shove off. But I didn't do that. In this coming time, I will. I'm buying a boat, and within 2 weeks, we're going to be underway going somewhere. That's a promise to myself, to my girlfriend, and to you guys, gang. So certainly, in episode 20, we discussed some of the things I would look for, and I had said at that time, and I still believe it, that I want to downsize a little bit. I don't want a boat that's 42 foot long. I'll go as high as 36, 37. I don't want a boat much bigger than that. And I absolutely want an old Taiwanese style boat. It doesn't have to be Taiwanese, mind you, but I use them as an example because they made solid fiberglass boats that were, no kidding, 2 inches thick, fiberglass down the hull. Other boat makers make that in the U.S. as well. West Sail, Cape Dory, CSY, they all made solid fiberglass boats, and there's some used boats available here in the U.S. That's what we're going to go looking for, okay? And I wanted to simplify in every possible way, but right now I'm just looking for an old solid glass boat that's ready to sail. The sails work, the engine works, the fuel's clean enough, and I want to be able to shove off very quickly. So that's the basic plan. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, so I figure I buy the boat, and within 2 to 3 weeks I want to be underway. I want to pretend I'm going to go camping, and if I need to work off of a cooler, maybe the boat doesn't have an operable galley, I can prepare for that. I can buy a few things if I need to do my camping. And the first thing I'll probably do with any boat I get is throw away all the mattresses and cushions, because usually they're nasty, full of critters and bugs, and it creeps me out. I'll just sleep on a piece of plywood and a yoga mat until I get myself sorted. So that's it, guys and dolls. The new plan is different than the old plan. The old plan was to cruise Europe for about 1 or 2 years, spending as much time I wanted in the Greek islands and visiting places like Cyprus, Lebanon, Malta, Crete. you know, many places that many people don't go, and I didn't want to do it from a cruise ship for 1 week, and I still want to do that. But what we're going to do first is get a boat here, going to be underway. So mark my words, by the third week of May, we're going to be underway going somewhere on a training cruise. We're going to take a boat, we're going to cruise the Caribbean until we're very comfortable with the boat, and then we'll just decide what to do. The point is, let the Caribbean and South Florida be my training ground. And so Caribbean, Bahamas, and the South Florida. Yep, and when we're comfortable with the boat, I think we'll probably jump in that boat and we'll do a North Atlantic route or loop, you know, just like Kevin Boothby recently did. And we'll just head north once we're comfortable with the boat. So perhaps not during the winter time. We'd probably wait till a year from now. But when we consider ourselves competent as a crew, then we're going to probably run up the eastern seaboard of the U.S. and might pop in to visit New York City, and we will then cross the Atlantic from there and head right back from almost where I was 6 months ago, you know, in the UK, and then we're going to go right into Rotterdam, just like we had goddamn well planned to do. So, and we're going to cruise the Eastern Mediterranean as long as we want to, and then we'll cross the Atlantic again, and then pass through the canal and just head for the South Pacific, something like that. So, there's no real commitments there. You know, sailors have to learn. So I haven't given up on the idea of cruising Europe, but we'll do our training ground first. Certainly it would be a poor practice to leave a marina here on a boat that I'm not familiar with and immediately cross the North Atlantic. So, over the next couple days, I'll be getting myself a new GoPro. Okay, that's big news. Might get another camera, that's possible. And I'm mostly trying to arrange to get my goods shipped off of my boat in the UK and shipped back here. I've got some ace quality friends up there who are willing to help me muddle my way through that process. And so the big decision has been made. We're going to change boats. That's what we're going to do. And that's what I got. So thanks for watching. I hope you stick with me. And next time I do a video, I ought to be the owner of a different boat. That's where I ought to be. And now, take care, everyone. Thank you. And there's one more big decision coming for me. So take care, guys. Bye. Yeah, maybe we're about there too. Okay, assemble the tools for the job. That's one. That's two. The red stripe will speed decision making during this evolution.